A little bit of a Ben Simmons update, guys. The leaders of the 76ers on their
Oh
personnel, in
God.
terms of like Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, and Matisse Thybulle, were literally about to board a plane, a private jet, to go and see Ben Simmons to try to convince him to report to camp and play out the season. Ben reached out and said, "Don't bother. I'm not playing for them, and I never want to play for them again." And Rich Paul also came out this weekend saying, "Ben's not showing up. We want anywhere but Philadelphia. We want out." So this has literally turned into a soap opera because I don't think Ben's playing now. I know that we said we thought he would show up, but I think that this is going to show us the complete opposite. Would you agree?
I guess so. I mean, bro, the amount of pettiness, the amount of drama that's going on associated with this story with Ben Simmons, it's just wild to me. The season hasn't even started yet. I mean, hell, even training camp hasn't started yet. And we're already going over this BS that's going on between Ben Simmons and his what looks like to be his former teammates with the 76ers if they actually work out a trade with Ben Simmons to wherever they find him a spot to go to. But it's like we mentioned last week. Who wants to trade for Ben Simmons? And it's
Not a competitive team,
I
not that.
listen.
I'll tell you
Listen.
that.
I don't want to get personal here. I'm keeping it strictly basketball here. It's just like, yeah, Ben is great defensively and he's good with facilitating the basketball, but homeboy, you have to score. Like that's like a prereq just to get into the NBA. You got to score somewhat. And with the way that he's been playing the last couple of years, I mean, he got around to finally attempting 3-point shots. I mean, it's better than what he did like the first like year or two where he didn't take one. So I mean, I guess that's something that's a little bit better, but it's just like, I mean, he's a liability offensively. And it's going to be very interesting to see how this whole trade scenario works out because they got to find a suitor. And a suitor is going to have to be willing to give up a lot in the process here because, I mean, Kev, we talked about what Philly wanted in return for Ben and some of the packages that they had. Talking about potentially 5 draft picks, going, from one team to them. I mean, like, really? Really? It's just,
Yeah,
it, I can't
it's
believe
going to
that.
be
I can't
interesting.
believe it.
I
Like, the story literally gives me a migraine because, like, the season hasn't started and there's this much drama already. And granted, I couldn't be Ben Simmons. I couldn't do it. Taking all that slander online for like the last like 6 months, and then this just adds on top of it, basically saying, yeah, I'm pretty much done with the 76ers. I mean, I tell you, like the internet just has a field day with this guy, and he's giving them more than enough fire to just keep on going with it.
Yeah, it's not looking well for his image. It's not looking well for his professional career to basically throw a fit and a tantrum to force your way out of a situation. Granted, in my professional opinion, I probably think that Philly will trade him out of the Eastern Conference for the sake of
Yeah.
if he does decide to ship up or act right, he may hinder their ability to go out there and perform in the Eastern Conference. It's just a matter of bless you,
Thank you.
do they end up trading him to a competitor or do they trade him to a team like a Sacramento and get a De'Aaron Fox in return? Do they trade him to a dumpster fire in the West? I can't even think of a team right now because I just or the Houston Rock. You know what I mean? Like just something bad. And we shall see what happens and transpires. There are a whole lot of rumors and fake scenarios that they might want to get John Wall in Philadelphia with Joel Embiid. They might want to go out there and acquire Colin Sexton from the Cavaliers. So again, we will see. But I just thought I'd mention it because it's an interesting story for the weekend. Because if you're literally looking at your teammates that you've gone to war with for the last 4 years, who are coming to you, they're flying to you in LA, private jet, just them, no coaches, no training staff, no nothing, no agents. Yo, Ben, let's just go have a drink. Let's spend a weekend together. Let's talk about this. Let's get let's work together. And instead, he legitimately just said, "Yo, bro, it ain't happening. Like, don't waste your flight." I
I
just
mean,
thought that that was a whole different level of
I'll,
wow.
I'll be honest. I got 3 good places that he can go to, and this is just my opinion. And these were like set in stone after that story popped up over the weekend about Ben basically turning away his teammates from flying out there. So, my first place that I'd send him to, he's got a nice little spot in Detroit. Be a good little spot for him. Live out the rest of his NBA career. The second one, I'm gonna keep it within the Eastern Conference. I think Cleveland. Cleveland would be a very good spot for him. You get Colin Sexton out of that nightmare that is Cleveland, and you could let Ben Simmons fester there for the next couple of years. Kind of teach him a lesson. For being this petty and being this stupid to his teammates. And then the third one, I shifted a little bit over to the Western Conference just to kind of even it out here. I think Sacramento. Sacramento would be a dandy spot for him. He gets his dream scenario of playing on the West Coast. Um, maybe you get De'Aaron Fox out of there. Maybe you get De'Aaron Fox actually on a team like where he could actually play because De'Aaron Fox has been nothing but sensational. And I would love to see De'Aaron Fox in a much better situation than Sacramento currently offers to him. And I think Ben would do wonders for that team. I think they could possibly win 20 games this season if you add Ben to the roster. Look at a top 5 lottery pick. I'm just throwing it out there. Those are my three. Those are my three spots for Ben. I think if Ben wants to be this petty, if Ben wants to be like this ridiculous with his teammates, you know what? You reap what you sow. You reap the consequences of your decision making, and I think sending him to one of those three potential destinations would be fitting, to say the least.